The brave men and women who have served our country faithfully often need our help to successfully transition back into civilian life. Brave Radio is here to highlight veterans and the companies who are making a difference in our veteran community. And now, the host of Brave Radio, Eve Nasby.
Brave Radio, where we're focused on engaging our veterans and making a difference in our business community. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here to highlight the best and brightest that San Diego and this nation have to offer. We have a great show planned today, so let's get started. We're on air right now with one of my most favorite people in the entire state of California, Rocky Chavez. Rocky, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you. You're one of my favorite people, too.
Aw, shucks. You're just saying that because it's true.
Well, I like your daughter singing, too. So.
Aw, thank you. We're going to be back up in the Veterans Association of North County Memorial Day, and we'll be singing up there again. So will we see you there? I know you're so busy.
Yes, I plan on being there until something comes up.
I love it. That's awesome. We love getting our picture taken with you because every time Erica stands next to you, she's taller, and she's almost as tall as you. So watch out.
Well, that's not saying a lot when you're talking.
You're funny. So, Rocky, I am so blessed to have you on the show. First of all, for our listeners, many of our listeners may not know that you were in the military. So can you kind of just talk about your beginnings in this great nation's military? Sure.
And back in 1973, when I finished college, I enlisted in the Marine Corps in July. I was went into an officer's program and commissioned in March of 74. And 28 years later, I retired as a Marine colonel, having served in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Division. It was a great experience.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it.
And you know what, Rocky, a lot of our great veterans like yourself go on into political roles. They go on to own their own businesses. And in a couple segments, we're going to talk to a guy named Richard Marks, who's a great person up in Oceanside area, North County, owns his own business. What are some of the characteristics that veterans possess that make them great leaders like yourself?
Well, as I used to talk all the time when I was the Undersecretary of Veteran Affairs around the state, when they talked about veterans, I said, it's true we have issues with some of our veterans because of war, PTSD, but we also have a lot of veterans who have managed to deal with that, and they understand a mission accomplishment. They understand that it takes hard work to get something done. They understand that just because you fail the first time doesn't mean you can't be successful the 3rd or 4th time, to keep on being persistent. And those are the things that make business people successful. Persistence, mission accomplishment, hard work. And those things are what all veterans bring forward. And if you served in the military, regardless of what service, you've learned those skills.
And that was so well said, Rocky. And I think that also applies for folks like you in political office who are persistent. And I'm sure come on, you ran for Oceanside City Council, and then you were appointed by the then Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. You made the journey to Sacramento to serve as Undersecretary of the California Department of Veteran Affairs. And I'm sure you've had a lot of setbacks in addition to all those successes.
Oh, sure. It's a little-known secret. Sometimes people don't know. Maybe locally they do, but not around. Actually, I was a director of a charter school, a founder of a charter school, and I did that for 7 years while I was a council member. And,
oh, my goodness.
And so doing a charter school is a small business. It was hard, and we had a lot of obstacles to overcome, which I could talk in for hours. But at the end of the day, when I see one of the graduates doing well, it makes me feel good. And so hard work does have its rewards. But even when I was at the Undersecretary of Veteran Affairs, it was started in 2009, and it was clear to me that we were not really dealing at all with women veterans. We weren't doing well in homelessness programs. We really didn't have a plan for PTSD. Our comp and pen was compensation and pension benefits for veterans. Needed a lot of work. So even though it was an uphill battle at the time, because you remember that's when Schwarzenegger was cutting budgets and everything.
Right. Yeah.
My people had a furlough reduced about 20% of their funding, but in the morale area, all the other agencies and departments in the state, morale went down while he was doing the furloughs. And the California Department of Veteran Affairs, because we tracked it, our morale actually went up during the furlough time. And I can only equate it to the leadership that I had with all my deputy secretaries, that we would go out, and I'd always tell them, we have a noble cause.
Yes.
We have young people coming back, that need our help.
Yeah.
And so this is not about an economy. This is about doing what's right for our heroes of America. And everybody bought into that. I mean, like all 2,500 employees, and our morale went up because we used to always send them every day the sacrifices that were being done overseas. And that was be stopped by a lot of my employees, a lot of SEIU employees. They said, we never knew that many things were happening because you don't see it in the news.
You don't.
And I said, every day we have young women and men, being injured or even worse, killed overseas. And what we're here to do is when they come back home to take care of them.
And you know what? The speed of the team is the speed of the leader. And you are an excellent leader, Rocky, and keeping that motivation and momentum going. And there is a lot of emotional buy-in with that. You guys are serving a greater cause. And so thank you again for all that you're doing around that. You were elected in 2012 to represent the 76th Assembly District, which includes everything up there, Camp Pendleton, Carlsbad, Encinitas, etc. And talk about all that you're doing right now for that community. And you're very involved. I mean, you were just at North County Lifeline, raising awareness around human trafficking. And then in a second, I want to talk about all that you're doing for our veterans. But talk about what you're doing in that community up there.
Well, education is always a big issue for me, so I sit on all the education committees. And I was actually able to, as I sit on the State Board of Allocation, which signs money for facilities and schools, we had some schools at Camp Pendleton that needed some money. And I was able to actually get the money to fix the schools on Camp Pendleton, which that's one of my high points for this year. And I say, what did you do? You helped a lot of young military families with better facilities at Camp Pendleton for the schools. That was a high point. You touch on something we've really been going on with, and that is the human trafficking issue. I started that about 18 months ago. I had no idea that was going on in San Diego to that level.
It's an epidemic. It's awful.
It's terrible. I can't imagine 2,000 young boys and girls being trafficked by the gangs to make money. So I'm all over that one. Obviously, San Onofre is a big issue with utilities and how much our rates are going up. So I sit on the utilities committee and tracking that very strongly. We're looking at the Public Utilities Commission being redesigned, so I'm active in that because that's going to have long-term implications for decades. So, but so education, schools, public safety, energy, and water, because I was involved in the water issue last year. So those are kind of things I've been pushing up for my district.
You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ, AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with the one and only Rocky Chavez. So, Rocky, let's talk about your position on the Governor's Council. Tell us about that.
Well, the Governor's Military Council started 3 years ago when right after I got elected, a number of us had said we need to have a more systemic approach to look at what's going to happen to the Department of Defense resources in California. There was a fear before California was hit on what they call a base realignment, right, where we lost a number of facilities in California. So we wanted to get together in a bipartisan way, Democrat, Republican, and bring in all the services together, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines, and the Coast Guard, to deal with what resources we have here. And I can tell you it's been a great education, and we've been taking it out to the different Assembly and Senate members, highlighting to them not just the impact that Department of Defense dollars have, but the relationship our military has with our universities. You see that very closely in Los Angeles when you start looking at Space Command and what they're doing with new technologies. Right. 2 years ago, there was a big issue with unmanned vehicles and training areas, which we got involved in to support the military. And now we're reaching out to local communities would love to come out and talk to any American Legion, VFW, any group to tell them about the Governor's Military Council and our report and what we have found. Mm-hmm. And we're also moving now, talking to Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico to protect our training areas because, as a lot of people know, we don't fight as just an Army or a Navy or Marine. We fight jointly. Mm-hmm. So out the Pacific Ocean, hundreds of miles out, joint forces are coming in and they project power ashore that actually goes to the western United States. That's a unique capability that we have in southwestern United States, and California is the entryway through Camp Pendleton as far as the ground forces are going in, and they go all the way into the deserts of the Southwest. So we thought if all the southwestern states could get together and be a block to support our Department of Defense, then we would have a richer future to protect our DoD resources here.
What a great idea.
It's an exciting committee.
That's very exciting. Committee. Now, do you see the same esprit de corps in other states as there is in California? I mean, San Diego, or a huge military town. We're all about supporting our military, and there goes California as well. Do you see that same type of camaraderie and push behind the military in other states?
It depends on the state. I was talking to New Mexico, an assembly member there 2 weeks ago about the Governor's Military Council. And the Air Force is pretty much the largest economy coming into New Mexico beyond tourism. So they were very focused on wanting to be part of what we're doing. Other states are not so much, but that's just like California. There's counties in California like San Diego that are very pro-military, but if you go to other areas in the state, not so much. And it's kind of surprising, for example, San Francisco has a history of the military, but since the base closure and the realignment and the advancement in the Silicon Valley, the local individuals probably won't have the same experience. As I tell people down in Oceanside, which I represent, we see young families, we see young women and men who have prosthetics or are dealing with things. So to us, the wars overseas aren't just something you see on TV. It's actually in your neighborhoods, right? Where it's not the same. Let's say if you're in San Francisco, there's no military forces really there of note.
Such a great point, Rocky. Such a great point. Well, you're running for office, right? Still up in Oceanside?
Yes, I'm running for my third run to be honored to represent the 76th District, which, as you identified, goes from Encinitas all the way through to Camp Pendleton, touching San Clemente. That's great. And I wish you the very best in that. You have done a superb job up in that area. It's great to know you. You have your boots on the ground, as they say. You're out meeting the community. You're involved in the community. You're doing great things for our military, Rocky. So thank you for all that you're doing. How can our listeners get a hold of you? Well, you can always get a hold of me at rocky.chavez@asm.ca.gov. That ASM means assembly.ca.gov. That's my email. Okay. Just send it right there. Or you can Google Rocky Chavez. There's not a lot of me in there.
Wait a minute. There is a lot of you in there. I Googled you this morning. There's a whole heck of a lot of you in there. So, again, Rocky, thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Okay, thank you. See you soon.
All righty.
Add your daughter.
Thank you. I definitely will. You're listening to Brave Radio, where we focus on matching veteran talent with innovative companies that make a difference in our community and in our nation. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, and we will be right back after this short break to talk to somebody that you guys really need to meet. So don't go away. Tired of your employees being late?
There was so much traffic.
Tired of poor excuses and poor presentations?
My kid ate my homework.
Tired of employees just not being able to handle the pressure?
You mean I gotta work a full 8 hours today?
Skip the hassles and excuses and hire individuals that are trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, adaptable to change, and focused on teamwork. Hire a veteran. More than just a patriotic gesture, hiring a veteran of the United States military comes with a host of benefits and tax credits and can provide your company with valuable leadership, organization, and accountability. Allow the Brave to help your progressive business connect with qualified veteran candidates today and find out more by visiting thebrave.us. That's THEBRAVE.us.
Easter Seals Work First Military and Veteran Services provides free one-on-one personalized employment assistance for local veterans through their Bob Hope Veteran Support Program. Easter Seals' team of employment specialists is dedicated to achieving successful long-term job placements that benefit both the veteran and the employer. Learn more about how you can receive services, connect with a future employee, or make a donation by visiting easterseals.com/SouthernCal. That's easterseals.com/SouthernCal.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
I need to hire someone. Our workload's increased and, man, I could use some help.
What are you looking for?
I need someone unlike Ben, who doesn't freak out, when the copier breaks and the phones are down and the receptionist calls in sick.
What do you need?
Leadership. I need a leader who can just get it done with little direction and ahead of time would be great. With the prima donnas floating around our department like Sally and Jason, it's a challenge, man, to get things done. I need a team player, trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, and adaptable to change.
There's only one place you're going to find talent like that.
Show me where.
Our United States veterans. Call Eve right now at 619-244-3000 or log on to thebrave.us and let's hire a veteran. It's good for business. It's good for America.
Brave is a part of America's largest service-disabled veteran-owned business, Amerit Consulting. We are dedicated to placing great companies with great veterans. Call today. Welcome back. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. We are in studio as promised with somebody that everybody needs to meet, and that is Richard Marks. Richard, welcome.
Thank you, Eve. Glad to be here.
We're not confusing you with the guy from the 80s that had his own.
No, I don't think you really want me to sing, but I will.
We're not going to have you sing. It's not that kind of a show. Well, Richard, I brought you on the show again because I just loved your story. You're obviously a veteran. You started your own business. A lot of veterans are really good at opening their own businesses, and there's a lot of different reasons, and we're going to talk about those reasons. But tell us your story. You were in the military. Which branch? How long?
I was in the U.S. Army, just very shy of 4 years. I separated from the U.S. Army back in 1987. I was a petroleum supply specialist, refueling aircrafts and vehicles and all of those great things. And I also picked up a secondary MOS, which was 71 Lima. It was a little bit more administrative. Mm-hmm. So those are the two things I did while I served my country.
And all of that translated out to what you're doing today in owning your own business?
Yes, it does, in part.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, the military, you have to have that self-discipline. So, running your own business, you have to have self-discipline as well as working in corporate America, et cetera. So that was one of those pillars that really helped me in my career. Having the confidence also, to run your own business. There's a lot of statistics out there that suggest that, business do not survive the first year.
Yeah.
I'm a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I've done that. And of course, my business is in the area of training, particularly sales training and customer service. And because of that, again, that self-confidence is really important if I'm coaching and teaching others how to do that successfully.
Sales training, customer service, confidence building. So I know that you're associated with Point Loma Nazarene University. They have picked up some of your classes, right?
Yes, that is correct. I've written a 32-course curriculum.
32-course curriculum?
Yes.
Good heavens.
On sales and customer service with a strong emphasis on taking care of the customer. Mm. And Point Loma Nazarene University has seen this curriculum, and they have certified it. So when participants go through my seminars, they receive a continuing education credit via Point Loma and also a great sales and customer service certificate.
And they love you. I talked to Nikki, and she thinks the world of you. So you're obviously doing something right. You're successful. Talk about some of those elements of success. So if somebody's listening right now and say they're looking for work and they're not getting a lot of success and they're maybe lacking confidence, what kind of pointers would you give them around that?
Well, the first thing I would suggest is activity equals results. So, and what I mean by that, again, we're all are tasked with many things, especially if we're hunting for an opportunity, looking for a sale, etc. And that's fantastic. But I make sure that I do not rest my, sort of energy on just one or two particular prospects or customers. Activity is the key. So, meaning the more I have working, it increases my chances for success.
So activity breeds activity, right? So if you're out there, you're looking for work, you're a veteran, you've got what it takes. It's just sometimes people sit at home because they're afraid to get out because it's the unknown. And so getting to these networking functions, maybe even joining the chamber, what are some of the things that they can do to keep themselves out there and active? And I know I'm taking you outside your comfort zone. It's okay.
Well, actually, it's actually a very good question, but it goes back to that self-confidence again. That's one of the things that we really had to master or even took for granted when we were in the military. We had to have that self-confidence to go out there and place ourselves in harm's way. It's what we had to do. It was part of the sacrifice. But it's really interesting when we're focusing on the unknown, because we don't know what the end result is going to be. Sometimes we think worst case scenario, which erodes our self-confidence. But I believe in expecting great things to happen. And so what that means is I am going to increase my activity level. Yes, I have doubt just like anyone else, but I know what I am capable of. I have done and have been successful in my entire career. We have always overaccomplished challenges in our lives. We've always accomplished goals in our lives. And so I often encourage folks to reflect on some of the things that they've done in the past to prepare them for their future.
Excellent.
So that self-confidence is really huge. And then more importantly, or equally as important, is emotional intelligence. Being able to read and understand who you're talking to meet people where they are. And how do you respond to them? Which direction are you interested in taking that conversation or this new opportunity? But more importantly, Eve, I think is really having a very positive, strong insight on your desired outcome. And that's where really the only thing that matters, and really focusing on that, and eventually just start to chip away on that goal every single day, every single moment, and eventually you accomplish your task.
You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with Richard Marks from RDM Management. He is one of the best sales trainers you guys could ever get exposed to. And you know what? You have had challenges in your life. So I don't want to set up your bio as this super successful guy, which you are, because it's not been met with a lot of challenges. So can you help our listeners understand some of the challenges you faced and how you overcame those challenges really without losing your initiative?
It's really interesting. We all overcome challenges in our lives. It's sort of a prerequisite of life, right? You can't get out of life alive. And you most definitely can't get out of it. 1-to-1
ratio. You live, you die. You're not getting out alive. I like that.
Right. And you can't get out of it without overcoming challenges. The challenge or the frustration becomes with just being a human being is we're always reaching and seeking additional goals. We want to get to that next level in life. And because we've never done it before, that sort of erodes or creates fear and anxiety. Like, how am I going to do this? When will these opportunities meet so I can continue to move forward? And I always believe that my phrase that I use is that we all have a history with ourselves. So there's a famous song out there that says, I woke up like this. Well, we did not wake up like this, but we do have a history of accomplishing our goals in our lives. So I often encourage folks to look at past experiences, past successes, and that's what I reflect on. And also, I believe in helping and encouraging others to get to their desired outcome. When I'm feeling down or things aren't sort of working out the way I would like for them to, that's a great opportunity to pour into someone else, to help them reach their desired goal. And I believe investing in people. And as I invest in people, I reap those rewards as well. It's amazing how many doors just open up for me because I've sort of built networking relationships and others and really help others out. And then I will get a phone call or email and say, Richard, here's a great opportunity. Are you interested in X, Y, or Z? Right. But of course, you have to put in the work. I'm very strategic. I'm very structured on what I do and how I do it. And because of that, again, there's no surprise on why I get the results that I'm looking for.
and you are very results oriented, and you reap what you sow, later than what you sow, and more than what you sow. It's an old farmer's adage, right? And so that's what you're doing. You're planting these seeds. And we, as folks who might be looking for work, can plant those seeds. And that's what we're doing by helping each other out.
Absolutely. I encourage folks, I'd love to share with them, if you knew the exact date, time of your breakthrough, that sort of would make you feel a whole lot better. Mm-hmm. But because we don't know that, we fill all of that space up with energy. Right. But if we look at in our past, we've always accomplished those goals, right. And then when you get there, you feel great and we're on to the next one. So again, just reflect on many of the things that you've done in the past, and they'll guarantee you to be successful in your future.
Well, you're a great coach. Let's shift from the individual person who's out there looking for work, or who just wants to be a better person or better at what they're doing. Let's shift to the company focus that you have. So you are going to introduce us to a great company in the next segment that you're helping right now. But let's talk about what you can do for companies along their customer service lines, how you can help them increase sales and increase their reputation within a community.
Well, I think you just said it there, Eve. It's about the customer service. And, my company is a training company, sales training company with a strong emphasis on sales. But we do that by providing great or extraordinary customer service. Mm-hmm. I'm always interested in trying to create that wow moment. Yes. That thing that sort of make you walk away from that particular experience and like, wow, what a great experience. And it gives you the opportunity to share that with someone else. As representatives, particularly sales representatives, we have the opportunity to do that all the time with our customers by focusing on what's important to them. That's the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter that my product or service and what it can do for you, but more importantly, what do you need for that product and service to do for your business? Mm-hmm. And if we can understand your pain points, and I can provide that solution for you, that becomes a win-win situation. And that's when the work starts, right? Because how do I maintain and keep your business? And that's thinking like a customer. The fact of the matter is that we are all consumers, every one of us. Mm-hmm. We all buy. And so I like to teach in my training, sell like a customer. Meaning, what's important to you when you walk into a place of business, when you're looking for a product and service, that interaction, that experience? What did you expect when you are a customer? And so just sort of flip that around. As a sales professional, I want to be treated. I want to be acknowledged the moment I walk into your location. Mm-hmm. I want to be greeted. I want to say, welcome, Richard. And we will have a warm introduction. I would like to get to know your name. I would like to know more things about you. Mm-hmm. I know that you're interested in my product and service because either you emailed me, you went to my website, or you walked into my place of business. Right. So that part has already been established. Now I need to get to understand you. And that's where that emotional intelligence come in to really understand who your potential prospects and customers are. Mm-hmm. And once you start to understand them and start to build that relationship, you build a relationship for a customer I'm interested in the customer lifetime value, not just the immediate sale, the here and now. Right. But what happens next year, next month, or 2 years from now when you're interested in upgrading to that product or service? I want to make sure that we still have a great relationship, not just when I'm trying to sell you something.
I love it. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ, AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. We're here with Richard Marks, sales trainer extraordinaire. So tell us a story about how you've helped a company or an individual go from not so good to outstanding.
Well, that would be very interesting. A few weeks ago, we held our sales customer service seminar at Point Loma Nazarene University. We had several participants there. And there was a gentleman in there who had just recently left corporate America and just started his own business. And interesting enough, when he was in corporate America, he was in the banking industry, business development manager, and he had at that particular time tons of sales training from some major corporations back there in the past. And so when he came to my seminar, as he transitioned into his photography business, one of the things that we really focus on with him as an example is going back to that whole self-confidence. He's starting his own business. And because he's starting his own business, there's just tons of fears that are out there. And, fear, I like to say, or represents false evidence appearing real. So we imagine a worst case scenario, all the things that's going to happen. So we build sort of the foundation. That foundation is really focusing on your self-confidence. really focusing on the emotional intelligence and those self-disciplines. And what I mean by self-disciplines, we have to make the phone calls. Mm-hmm. We have to do the networking events. We have to do the prospecting. And where those tasks, from my perspective, are quite simple, is more of a self-discipline. How much of those activity-based events are you going to do, and how comfortable are you interacting with others? Because people do business with people. And so
people do business with people they like.
Oh, and more importantly, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and that's really important. And so, and so, what we've done is we spent a lot of quality time really focusing on those foundations. Mm-hmm. And as we tapped into those foundational principles and pillars, I just heard from him recently a couple of weeks ago, and things are starting to thrive. He has that self-confidence to really focus on and target on to those prospects and businesses where he was more so reluctant to call on before. It's not that difficult. It's not that challenging, but you do have to put in the work.
You don't know what you don't know. And then you come along and you educate people on what they don't know. And if they put what you talk about into practice, there's success waiting for them on the other side. But they got to put the work into it.
Got to put the work in. And there's no immediate results. There are short wins at times, and we all love those, embrace those. But if you don't have patience, this job will teach you patience. But it goes back to that activity base again, right? And, we want it now. We want that win. We want that opportunity. We want that customer now. But if you think of any lasting relationship or important relationship that you have, it takes time to get there. Right. It's not overnight. It's building trust. It's building that confidence in one another. And even if the customer doesn't purchase my product and service, perhaps they will be interested in my product and service later, and or perhaps they know someone else that would be interested in my product and service. But I'm only interested in referring people that I have a great relationship with, and vice versa.
Right. Excellent. Richard Marks, RDM Management. Tell us about some upcoming events and how we can get a hold of you.
Well, upcoming event is on June 2nd and 3rd at Point Loma Nazarene University. It will be our Sales and Customer Service Certificate program. It's from 8 until 1 each day, a total of 10 hours. Mm-hmm. And of course, participants will walk away with a continuing education credit.
Excellent.
My email address is richard@rdmmanagementgroup.com. My web address is rdmmanagementgroup.com, and my telephone number is 619-408-8567. Expect great things to happen.
Expect great things to happen, and you have bracelets that actually say that.
Yes, I have one on now.
To remind us all.
Absolutely.
To expect great things.
You know what? I brought one for you also, Eve.
You did? I'm going to wear it proudly.
It's about attitude.
Okay. All the listeners, can you see that? Put it up on your website. Give our website one more time.
It is rdmmanagementgroup.com.
All right. For a class and a free bracelet, go there right now.
Thank you, Eve.
Richard, thanks for being a part of the show.
It's my pleasure.
You're listening to Brave Radio, where we focused on matching veteran talent with innovative companies that make a difference in our community and in our nation. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, and we will be right back after this short break to talk to our friends from MM Communications. Don't go away.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
I need to hire someone. Our workload's increased, and man, I could use some help.
What are you looking for?
I need someone unlike Ben, who doesn't freak out, when the copier breaks and the phones are down and the receptionist calls in sick.
What do you need?
Leadership. I need a leader who can just get it done with little direction and ahead of time would be great. With the prima donnas floating around our department like Sally and Jason, it's a challenge, man, to get things done. I need a team player, trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, and adaptable to change.
There's only one place you're going to find talent like that.
Show me where.
Our United States veterans. Call Eve right now at 619-244-3000 or log on to thebrave.us and let's hire a veteran. It's good for business. It's good for America.
Brave is a part of America's largest service-disabled veteran-owned business, Amerit Consulting. We are dedicated to placing great companies with great veterans. Call today.
Easter Seals Work First Military and Veteran Services provides free one-on-one personalized employment assistance for local veterans through their Bob Hope Veteran Support Program. Easter Seals' team of employment specialists is dedicated to achieving successful, long-term job placements that benefit both the veteran and the employer. Learn more about how you can receive services, connect with a future employee, or make a donation by visiting easterseals.com/SouthernCal. That's easterseals.com/SouthernCal.
Tired of your employees being late?
There was so much traffic.
Tired of poor excuses and poor presentations?
My kid ate my homework.
Tired of employees just not being able to handle the pressure?
You mean I gotta work a full 8 hours today?
Skip the hassles and excuses and hire individuals that are trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, adaptable to change, and focused on teamwork. Hire a veteran. More than just a patriotic gesture, hiring a veteran of the United States military comes with a host of benefits and tax credits and can provide your company with valuable leadership, organization, and accountability. Allow the Brave to help your progressive business connect with qualified veteran candidates today and find out more by visiting thebrave.us. That's THEBRAVE.US.
Welcome back. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at BraveJobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. As promised, we're back in studio with Richard Marks from RDM Management, and you have brought some friends with you, which I get to introduce.
Yes, how about that? Thank you.
From Mobile, we have Chihiro Shinzaki, and we have Daigo Kimura. How did I do, gentlemen?
You did amazing.
Yes, I get a free phone.
Good job.
Well, you know what, Chihiro, you're the boss. You started this movement here in the United States. So talk about Mobile, who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, Mobile is incorporated like last January in 2015, and which is invested by the Japanese parent company called Corporation. And Corporation has been doing mobile retail business in Japan over 23 years.
Okay.
And we just transferred that experience into the United States. And we started do the business, mobile retail business with Verizon since last May or so. And we have been doing this business for about a year.
That's great.
Yeah. And
I love Verizon.
Yeah. Everybody does.
It works.
Yeah, right?
It's always a plus. And then you met this handsome young man sitting next to you, Daigo.
Yeah, correct.
Daigo.
Yeah, you got it.
And talk about how you guys met. And Daigo, talk about what you're doing with Mobile.
I basically handle every store operational side of the business. Of course, the management process, the beginning stages of the training, keeping up with the sales, operations, inventory management, so on and so forth.
You do it all.
Yes.
And I'm excited because you guys have an office or a store here in San Diego up in Kearny Mesa.
We do.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
And so we can walk in there and what's our experience like? Because our listeners right now are thinking, oh my gosh, if my phone breaks, I have to go to one of those stores and sit there for 45 minutes while everybody around me doesn't look like they're doing anything but sitting on their own phones when they should be helping me as the customer. And I'm getting really irritated. Yeah. So how does this experience change when I go to Mobile in Kearny Mesa?
That's basically 90% of the consumer audience you just spoke about right now. And that's the notion that we kind of want to eliminate altogether. It almost seems like going into a DMV every time you go into a cell phone store.
Terrible. Man,
right.
It's like, I don't even want to go there. Just shoot me.
Right. And turning that experience around and making it almost making it look forward to customers to go into a cell phone store.
Like I want to look forward to going into your store like I look forward to going into C's Chocolate.
Right.
So tell me, how are you going to, you talked about the environment, you talked about service. So tell our listeners a little more detail about how you're going to be on purpose and be purposeful about differentiating yourself.
We've been paying attention to detail a lot. We kind of want to put our shoes into the consumer standpoint and basically exceed what our expectations would be to go into a cell phone store, from the layouts of the store, making it a little more foot traffic friendly to go into a store, having those innovative accessories that you wouldn't see at a typical Verizon store.
Because you have connections with Japan,
we do.
Obviously.
Yes.
Right? So we're going to see stuff that's unique and different and not your run-of-the-mill OtterBox.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. We're trying to think outside the box. And, some of the accessories is going to be out there. Yeah. But, right? I guess that's the fun part of having a small business is that, we can basically do whatever we want. We have a blank slate. Yeah. And having the experience of being on the corporate side of the cell phone business, I kind of know what consumers expect and what they would want. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Because I expect when I walk in there that you're actually going to help me and not put me on hold for 45 minutes. On physical hold, it's like, la, la, la. Here, let me show you my accessories. Well, sorry. It's an OtterBox. I've seen this before.
That must have been a terrible experience.
I am scarred for life. It's only because it happens every time I walk in there.
Right.
But now I have Verizon. So I'm going to come to your store.
Yes.
Because I'm going to get great service and I'll get bling and everything else. And you're opening up a couple of stores, 3 stores in Hawaii. Talk about that.
Yeah. So, Japanese corporation called Marukai. It's a Japanese supermarket. And then he went to the same university as I did in Japan. And he is executive vice president of the company. And then their parent company in Japan is called Don Quixote.
Okay.
And they have like 200, 300 stores in Japan.
Wow.
One of the biggest grocery stores in Japan. And they have big 3 stores in Hawaii.
Okay.
And then one location, our location is in Los Angeles. And we just do the sublease from the company.
Okay.
Don Quixote. And then they just liked our operation and also Daigo's, doing business. And then they just proposed us to create a new store inside the Don Quixote Japanese supermarket.
How exciting.
I know. And then we have a lot of Japanese tourists to Hawaii. More than about 1.5 million people from Japan every year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Every year?
Every year.
Wow.
Yeah, their
what
population
a great
is...
market for you. For the phones, for everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then, of course, for travelers, they need a phone. They need a Wi-Fi, they need a telecommunication service. So we can provide tourists that kind of services. And also, there are a lot of local Japanese people in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So about 300, 400,000 Japanese, people are living there. So
that's awesome.
It can be a good opportunity for us.
You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. We are here in studio with MM Mobile with Chihiro and Daigo.
Yes.
And I'm so glad you guys are here. Richard, you brought them. These are your peeps. Talk about how you are helping them become better at what they do.
Well, similar to both of these great gentlemen here, I have a background in wireless as well.
You do. You're Mr. Cricket.
Yes, absolutely. And I have been in wireless for about 15 years before I started my own company. So with that being said, when Chihiro and I met several months ago, he had a couple of sales reps in the Colonel Macy's store who were very great individuals, but we also recognized that they needed some additional help in sales and customer service. And of course, that's my area of expertise. So we went through about 30 hours worth of training with those 2 individuals, again, teaching them the structure and the fundamentals of selling. Again, I emphasize the structure and fundamentals. Sometimes many salespeople, the folks that are in the business of sales, sort of learn trial by fire. And so they're typically practicing on customers, practicing on the company that they work with, and also, practicing on themselves. And, but unfortunately, that can sometimes equate to a horrible or less than desirable experience. So this curriculum that I mentioned earlier really lays down the foundation, the structure about selling, but more importantly, with a very strong emphasis on the customer experience. And so that's what I provide for M&M Mobile is creating that, again, extraordinary, that wow customer service experience and way of training.
Now, have you guys, I'm going to put you on the spot because have you seen a difference having your employees go through Richard's training?
Absolutely. Just to piggyback off of the first segment, he was saying the biggest part was the confidence to, pitch other products that customers may not necessarily come in there for, and building that relationship with other customers instead of just taking, orders and ringing accessories up or whatever. So that was a major part that we've seen an improvement on.
That's great. It works.
Yes, it does work.
It did.
And we didn't rehearse that. That was on the fly. and Daigo, that was the right answer.
Yeah.
So tell us where you're taking the company next. You've got the mobile stuff, and what's next for you guys besides opening up all these other stores?
Whoa, boy. Right now, honestly, our main focus is creating that customer base and the broadening our vision as far as the companies goes. And I guess the first step is to open up those stores and having the proper training for our reps, which is 90% of what the profession is all about. And that's exactly why we reached out to Richard for his guidance.
Yeah. You also talked about cutting edge technology like Fitbit, VR, drones in your stores. What's that all about?
A huge thing right now is there is a virtual reality that is now hitting majorly in the market. If you have seen any of the Six Flags commercials, now they have the roller coaster where you have the virtual reality headset going on.
Right.
That is going to be out for consumers. So that is an example of what, is the next step for the mobile industry. Having, again, like you said, the drones into our store is going to be another major part. So not necessarily just accessories that relate to cell phones specifically, but, just in a mobile perspective.
Because you also offer tablets.
We do.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's great.
Yes.
And Richard, you're going to help them grow and expand. You get to go to Hawaii with them?
Well, we're working on that. That's the point of our meeting today. I'm trying to put that in the proposal.
All right.
Hint.
Wait, and you need a secret shopper?
Yes.
Which would be me, because it can't get any worse than what
Absolutely. Well, that's really great. I love their innovation, though. I really enjoy working with them in their mobile because, A, they really care about their customer. Their goal is to create a fantastic experience for their users, and more importantly, they want their customers to come back. And they want their family members to come back. They want their friends and family to come to their locations. And the only way that can happen is providing a very extraordinary or that wow experience that we talked about.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well said. All right, gentlemen, where can we find you here in San Diego? It's in Kearny Mesa. We know that.
Yes, we're in Kearny Mesa. At the moment, we are inside the Mitsuya Market, which is a Japanese grocery store. Right when you walk in, you'll see it on the left-hand side. Okay. If you're out there visiting in LA, we'll be in downtown LA in Little Tokyo, inside a mall called Weller Court. That's where I primarily am. So if you want,
autographs, 8x10 glossy. There's where you're going.
Yeah. So.
Okay. That's great. Now, do you guys have phone number, website, anything set up yet? I know you're kind of new.
I have an email. It's Daigo, Daigo. Last name is Kimura, Kim as in Mary, Ura, at mmmobile.biz. Okay. Reach me out there. My phone number is 714-595-2333.
And that will all be available on our Facebook page as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And we want to talk about, as you're growing and expanding, you're hiring. And that's one of the reasons we welcomed you here to the show, because you're looking to hire people. So both in Hawaii and maybe here in San Diego. Richard, you want to talk about, you are a disabled veteran-owned business. Is that right?
No, veteran-owned business, not disabled.
Okay.
Yes.
So veteran-owned business, and you guys, are using the services of a veteran-owned business. And obviously you recognize the great abilities that our veterans bring to the table, but also hiring, and we can look at hiring veterans because they make great salespeople, and that has been proven through the ages. So, Richard, I wanted you to talk very briefly on why you think veterans make great salespeople.
I sort of alluded to some of those key characteristics earlier, Eve, and those characteristics are self-confidence. Got to have it. Veterans have great self-confidence. Again, it's always in the works. We're always improving it, but self-confidence is one of those key pillars. Also, self-discipline. If you're going to be great in the business of sales, if you're going to be a great athlete, you're going to be great in business, you have to have great self-discipline. The other two elements are emotional intelligence and then finally motivation. And that's intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. Those are the four pillars in my experience on what make great salespeople and why veterans make great salespeople.
So when you talk about a veteran having intrinsic motivation, what that means to our listeners is that a veteran's motivated without anybody telling them what to do and when to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes there's that misperception that veterans are only order takers. They can only function if you tell them what to do, right? And I think that's just, it's ridiculous. It's not true.
No, not true at all whatsoever. I love my corporate career. It was fantastic, but that intrinsic motivational factor was important to me. Why do I do what I do?
Right.
Whether it's for my family, is to help someone to meet their desired outcome. Those things are really important to me. Of course, the extrinsic motivational factors are the rewards and the financial means, et cetera. That's fantastic as well. But veterans, we care. You just think about that. The veterans are sacrificing their lives for our country. Right. Can't get any better than that.
They're going to care about your product. They're going to care that they're doing a good job. They're going to care about that service level. They're going to care that at the end of the day, they made a difference in somebody's life.
Absolutely.
Right.
Fantastic.
Outstanding. Well, Richard, thank you so much. Gentlemen, thank you for coming all the way down from Irvine.
Thank you.
Just
Thank you
to be on the show.
Yeah.
All right. They came down to meet with Richard to invite him to Hawaii. All right.
Thank you, Eve. And we also need a secret shopper. So.
We do. All about secret shopping and, Kauai. All right, you guys. We've had a great show. Thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Eve Nasby, and you've been listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, The Answer. If you want to find out more about how you can hire top veteran talent, or if you're interested in being a guest on our show, visit our web page at www.thebrave.us. I've got a few more announcements, so don't go away. We will be right back after this break. Tired of your employees being late?
There was so much traffic.
Tired of poor excuses and poor presentations?
My kid ate my homework.
Tired of employees just not being able to handle the pressure?
You mean I gotta work a full 8 hours today?
Skip the hassles and excuses and hire individuals that are trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, adaptable to change, and focused on teamwork. Hire a veteran. More than just a patriotic gesture, hiring a veteran of the United States military comes with a host of benefits and tax credits and can provide your company with valuable leadership, organization, and accountability. Allow the Brave to help your progressive business connect with qualified veteran candidates today and find out more by visiting thebrave.us. That's THEBRAVE.US.
Easter Seals Work First Military and Veteran Services provides free one-on-one personalized employment assistance for local veterans through their Bob Hope Veteran Support Program. Easter Seals' team of employment specialists is dedicated to achieving successful long-term job placements that benefit both the veteran and the employer. Learn more about how you can receive services, connect with a future employee, or make a donation by visiting easterseals.com/SouthernCal. That's easterseals.com/SouthernCal.
Welcome back. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. I wanted to highlight a great event that's coming up tomorrow. If you guys can make it, it's May 3rd, 5:30 p.m., Hilton La Jolla, Torrey Pines. It's called Closing the Gap. And this is a gala to support Psych Armor Institute. My good friend Marjorie Morrison started Psych Armor a few years ago, and it's all about helping people who know people with PTSD. You could be a caregiver, you could be an employer, and there are over 100 videos on their website at psycharmor.org that you can download and watch for free to see how you can help your friends and family members with PTSD. So this event tomorrow night will be honoring Senator Elizabeth Dole. She's the founder of the Elizabeth Dole Foundation for Military caregivers. She will be honored for her humanitarian efforts for raising awareness and resources for military and veteran caregivers and families. Also honored will be David McIntyre, who is the CEO of TriWest Healthcare Alliance. He'll be honored for his advocacy in improving veteran healthcare by leveraging community partners. And last but certainly not least, a good friend of Psych Armor is Becky Moores, philanthropist here in San Diego. Thank you so much to all of these wonderful honorees for this event, and I hope that you can make it May 3rd, that's tomorrow, 5:30 p.m., Hilton La Jolla. Torrey Pines come out and celebrate closing the gap with Psych Armor. Well, I'm Eve Nasby, and you've been listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, The Answer. If you want to find out more about how you can hire top veteran talent, or if you're interested in being a guest on our show, visit our webpage at www.thebrave.us. That's www.thebrave.us. Send us a tweet at Brave Jobs or like our Facebook page. From all of our guests and me, thanks for joining us. And until next Monday, may God bless our veterans and God bless America.
Thanks for listening to Brave Radio. If you know a veteran looking for work, or if your company is hiring, call Eve at Brave at 619-244-3000. Give her a tweet at Brave Jobs and connect with them on Facebook. To be a guest on the show, visit thebrave.us.